It's your sleepless God back with a new video, and I know you guys are like, yeah, I know one guy commented at least, like I want part 4 of this. You're gonna get part 4. Just I really want to post this video just for some stories that I've been hearing. One story specifically that brought this idea on me and brought this theory into my mind of what if Midoriya was finally broken. Let's get involved. So Midoriya is around 12 years old right now, and Midoriya was being picked on by Bako for many years now. Starting when he was 6, so about 6 years now he's been picking on him, and not to the extremes that it will cause to when they get older, but it's pushing to that point, and Midoriya's been basically fighting back. But this fight has been a little bit more dramatic. Midoriya throws some punches, hit in the face, and started like clobbering down a little bit, as the teachers called the police even, as they grabbed Bakugo, as they shoved Midoriya into one of the police cars, shut the door, and they basically shoved Bakugo somewhere else. Midoriya didn't know, as Midoriya's drive to basically the police station, as Midoriya basically got a almost like a police officer to keep him in check, and basically it was almost like every day after school he would go to the police officer, and for 2 to 3 hours basically he'll learn about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, basically like a parole officer in a sense. And after that, he'll go back home. And that's been happening for multiple days until Bakugo starts saying some shitty shit about his mother. Because his dad basically impregnated his mom and just split. So he's basically calling her a sloozy, a fucking whore, and stuff like that. As Midoriya says, yeah, my mom is a whore, your mom looks like a fucking slut. As Midoriya and Bakugo get into another fight, but Midoriya just defends himself because he doesn't want to get in more trouble. And Bakugo just starts to exploding his arms with his exploding quirk, as again the police are called. But instead of just Midoriya and Bakugo getting escorted, it's just Midoriya, as he's escorted to the police station, as his parents are called, his parent, mom, as his parole officer basically says, this was your last straw, man. You're now going to a juvenile extension place, and this is where you're gonna be. As Midoriya's mom is crying, as she's saying, is there anything? He's like, no, you'll be there for 6 months. You'll be in the juvenile detention place for 6 months, and that's what we would be. And after 6 months, you will get out. That's it. That's all I can offer you. As Midoriya goes, as Midoriya is now in his bunking area, as he basically got all set up, as he's has a bunk. He has a normal bed. It's very small, and he is in a when he got there, the guards were like, what's your name? He says Izuku Midoriya, and he's like, that's not your name anymore. He's like, what? He's like, your name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That created fucking numbers. No, your name is 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. As he gave him a number on his chest, and like, that's your name now. That's your name. Your name is not Midoriya anymore. That's your name. And he points to the number and he stamps it onto his chest. You listen to us. You don't go out of line. And you do what we say, or we will do stuff to you that you're not like. They're trying. trying to be like unspecific about it and trying not to be sketchy, as Midoriya has figured out just walking into this place that there is organized fights, and the guards don't care about it. As long as people are not getting seriously hurt and these kids are not getting seriously hurt or dying, they don't care. As Midoriya gets set up, as he sits on his bed, as he just falls asleep. As he wakes up the next morning, as the guards are slamming on the chairs, wake up! Wake up! As he just slamming on the gates. As he, actually the bars itself, but he's slamming on them. As all of them are waking up, as Midoriya is just sitting there, and he's like, he just needs a couple of seconds. As, he's just sitting there, and he's like, oh God, what have I done? As the guard says, as the guard slams on his desk and says, his bars and say, 5 minutes until roll call. As he walks down to another desk and he slams it as he's sitting there, and he's just thinking as 5 minutes pass as Midoriya is still sitting there, as the guard says, "Why are you not up?" He says, "Dude, I just need a couple more seconds, man. I just need a couple more minutes just to think to myself. Is that's all I need?" As the guard says, shrugs his shoulders and say, "You get up now, and you go to roll call, or I'm gonna put you somewhere where you're not gonna have to worry about roll call." And smart ass Midoriya now, he's just like, I'm already in juvie. Where else are you gonna put me?" As the guard smiles as he slams Midoriya to his chest into the wall, as he grabs him, handcuffs him, and grabs him and moves him, grabs his back, like the back of his thing, shoves him forward as he starts basically shoving him to solitary confinement. As he opens the door, uncuffs Midoriya as he kicks him in the back, as he shuts the door and locks it. As Midoriya is basically just sitting there. And solitary confinement is basically, you have one light that goes till 24 hours. You have a door, just a black, it's all concrete, with metal door, and with a hatch that gives you food. And for an entire month, that's what has been happening. And there's one camera system that watches you all 24 hours of the day. As for an entire month, basically, Midoriya's basically been getting food. He's eating. He's trying to, as small things have been happening, like utterly illusions, like illusions, like he's hearing people's voices, like his mother. It's like saying, not his mother, but like just voices, and it sounds like people are reading. People are like tapping, like chessboard pieces, slashing his swords and stuff like that. As when the first month goes by, this is when he sees a ghostly figure slide over. As it's basically, it looks like a man, around 5'4", 5'6", very short, and with this black cloak, and it looks like nails, as he walks over to Midoriya. As you see him put down a chessboard and says, "Let's play." As he snaps as he sees chess pieces. As Midoriya says, "I don't know how to play." And he says, "Seems like you have time. Let's play." As they start playing, chess piece after chess piece, as Midoriya starts figuring out how to play. As every day for the month that's been going by, Midoriya plays chess. This man. As another month passes by, as we see another ghostly figure pop up, but this man's a lot taller, a lot leaner, 6 foot. As the ghostly figure with the chessboard goes away, as he pops up and says, Do you want to hear a book? As the room starts to form differently. It's always been this like dark room with this just one light and just all metal, but it starts to form differently, but slowly. It's weird. As Midoriya starts seeing bookshelves, as he pulls out one book, as he just starts reading it to Midoriya, as an hour passes by, as he shuts the book and shuts it, as the room changes back, not to its original state, but it seems more clean in Midoriya's eyes, as the chess man comes back. This is what Midoriya has been calling him now, as the room starts becoming like wood boarding only, as he says, me and him made a deal. I pay chess for an hour, he reads for you an hour, and we keep on going back and forth until you go to bed. As the chessboard pops up as they play chess again for another hours, as he's been getting good. I mean, to the point where the ghostly chess fairy is actually struggling to beat him now, as he's been playing chess for so long. As another month passes by, as it's been around 4 months by now, as another figure pops up, and now 3 figures in the room. This dark room that's not even now dark anymore. It's as Midoriya now just sees it as a normal wood room with wooden floors and like normal walls, as he also sees beautiful trees as everywhere, as he sees like almost like a garden place, as the man bows to Midoriya and says, I will be the one training you how to fight. As Midoriya says, what do you mean by that? As he throws a punch, as the ghostly figure throws a punch and says, now follow my movements. As Midoriya stands up and starts following his movements, in an hour every day, he plays chess, reads to Hamlet, listens to Hamlet, and other books, Secrets to the Wind, other books, Harry Potter series, every book imaginable. And he finishes it, he goes on to the next book and reads, and he plays chess and fights. 5 months pass by, as the room has changed so much. Instead of this brick outness circle with metal walls, the metal doors became a regular door, as the hatch always still gives him food as he still eats. But the room has fallen apart. Instead of brick walls, there's wooden walls with trees all over the place. As instead of the floor being the concrete floor, it's more of a mesh between like a flower garden and like grass. As right now Midoriya is playing chess. As he plays chess, fights, and listens to book, as he learns how to kick, punch, learn, dodge, throw punches, and do as much stuff as possible. As the ground, as he plays chess, as another month passes by. It's been 6 months, as another figure pops into the room. This man looks more artsy, I would say. As the figure is more artsy, as he bows and says, I'm another teacher of yours, as there's now 5 ghostly figures in the room, as they're all standing. Say, it's been to a point where they disappear or something like that, but now they're all there, waiting for their hour to teach Midoriya. As the ghostly figure as he says, Midoriya asks, what are you going to teach me? As he says, of course, I forgot to tell you, I'm going to teach you how to play instruments. As he says, but there's, as he snaps his fingers, as you see a piano and a chair pop up. As he says, follow me. As he plays a couple chords, and he just says, follow my lead. As Midoriya plays a couple chords, as he does the same exact thing over and over again for an hour. As he practices how to punch, fight, kick, learn how to skill. As he also learns how to play chess. As he listens, as he plays and plays and plays. As he's been learning how to fight, mostly how to dodge right now, and how to kick, punch, dodge, grab, put to the ground, every move possible. As he's been reading right now massive sums of books, or not really reading them, listening to them, as he's been playing chess for so long. Most of the time it takes an entire hour for him and the ghost to not even just finish the chess game, but to get to that point. As Midoriya, the grass has grown a little bit, as the floor and the trees have become more darker a little bit, and some of them became more lighter and more clear what they are, as we hear, as he plays the piano, as he plays lullabies, rock songs and cool songs like that he's being taught, but he also plays classical and other stuff. But chess is now thrown out as is now more complicated now, as instead of just the normal chessboard is now bigger, and they play with more pieces that they have to think a little bit more and have to use a little bit more as every time Midoriya beats the ghost, he gets a little bit bigger. As same with the fighting one, as he's fighting, anytime Midoriya beats him, he adds one more move that he has to learn, as they're just practicing movement, going over, dodging, blocking, as he keeps on going. As he gets a break, and he listens to the ghost read, as he hears sadness of Romeo and Juliet and the wonderfulness of J.K. Rowling, as he hears, I don't know that many books, but he hears like thousands of books, thousands, love stories, comedies, mix of both. He hears thousands of stories now. And he's almost mastered he has mastered the piano perfectly. Knows how to play every key, how to play every part. You can give him a song there and he knows how to play it. As the ghost with music teaches him how to play the violin, as he's learning how to play the violin, as every one of them are challenging him higher and higher and higher. As the door creaks open, as you see the door open, as the wooden door opens, as he's just sitting there listening to the book he's just listening peacefully. Doesn't even know. He's listening to Percy Jackson right now, the Lightning Thief version. He's only on the first one. As he's listening, as he looks open, as he sees a man fully dressed with white shirts and all that stuff, with a pen and a notebook, as he looks at him and says, "Are you?" As you see the man walk towards Midoriya, as Midoriya still sees the field, the trees, everything, the piano over there, as he says, as the man looks down at him and says, "What are you?" It's time, as he's stuttering, trying to like talk and stuff like that, but as he reaches out his hand and says, "It's time to leave." As he looks around and says, as he looks at all the ghosts and all the people, as he says, "But what do you?" As he can't even speak. As Midoriya looks at him and says, as he looks at the ghosts, as he hears all of them say at the same time, "We will be here for you every step of the way. We will still be training you even if you leave this room." As he grabs his hand, as he pulls up, as Midoriya has been getting fit, as he goes, as he walks out of the room, as the light from the hallway is blinding. As he keeps on walking and walking, as he walks into a room with two chairs, not really, one couch, one chair, as Midoriya sits down, and as a man sits down, as he pulls out a notebook and says, "Are you okay?" As Midoriya says, yes." As Midoriya is like trying to like speak, but it's like hard because he hasn't speak in a while. He doesn't talk that often because he doesn't need to. As what did you see in the room? As he looks at him and says, "What do you mean?" He says, "Did you see what you were supposed to see? Did you see concrete walls?" As the ghosts are right behind him, as they say, as all of them are shaking their head like, "Yes, say yes." As they're all speaking, say yes. As Midori says, yes, I seen concrete walls." As Doctor says, "Why were you just sitting there then?" It says, "What do you mean?" As the doctor looks at him and says, "You looked like you were moving your hand, moving pieces." As Midori says, as he looks over and says, as at the ghost who was playing chess, as he was like shaking his head, just say, "I don't know what you're talking about." As the Midori says, "I don't know what you're talking about." As man shakes his head, say, "Okay." As he says, "But your 6 months is over. You can go back to the normal world." As he looks over his head and says, as he shakes his head and says, yes." As he stands up, as the doctor stands up too, as he walks him out of the basically prison, still in there, as he walks him to the end of the hallway, as he sees his the officer that was his parole officer and his mother. His mother is crying right now, tearing up, as he sees the parole officer, as he sees the man who taught him how to fight, as he sees them trying to. He's looking at the parole officer with this glance of anger, rage, and regret in his eyes, but also with this intention to kill. As you see Inko Midori just run over and grab Midori and say, I'm so sorry that happened to you. It was all my fault." As Midori says, "It wasn't. It's not your fault. It's not your fault." As you see tears running down his eyes, it's not your fault. As the ghosts are all circling around him, smiling, as they nod their head and say, looking at Ego, as this is where we're ending it off. Hope you liked the video. See you guys later.